and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello. Welcome to Spindle City Straight Talk. I'm Chip.
And I'm CJ.
And everybody give a big ovation to CJ. He's back.
I dragged myself in
here. He survived all the problems and trials and tribulations, and he's dragged himself back here on his scooter, all casted up, but we couldn't take it anymore. We're back, so.
And I know our viewers are happy that we're back as well.
Yeah, another day, another week in the Riv, and last week we were off, but...
Hey, we gave the politicians a break.
Yeah, well, again, we look at, the same old in the city. We start out, I guess, with our favorite topic, the topic that goes back probably the farthest, the trash bags. Let's start with the trash bags.
Let's start with trash.
Fall River's trash and disposal costs are on a rise since City tossed the purple bags. And then it's another article here, Fall River's problems, Fall River's history. It says pay as you throw has been fraught with problems from the beginning. Well, you hate to say it, but they can't do anything right in Fall River. So how many times on this show have we talked about this, and so many other times, and the mayor eliminates things that you can't eliminate the cost of what that fee was paying for unless you eliminate it completely. So it didn't. And not only that, they're rising, and the article goes into it, and there's no reason getting into it, because we've also told you that this contract was crap from the beginning, that there were escalating costs built into the contract. Even if we kept the purple bags, the cost of trash collection was going to go up anyway. Not to the extent it is now, because now we have to make up the purple bag deficit. But the reality is it was going up anyway. And we knew that. And if anybody, especially our city council, one of whom was Jazel, who supported it from the get-go. He only doesn't support things when it's an election year. We would not have done what we did and gotten this entire thing, thrown out our DPW and our trash pickup, and now we're ending up with a never-ending problem. CJ, you okay?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just checking. I don't know if you're over-medicated or like that.
I'm not on anything. No medications at all.
I couldn't hear you breathing, so.
No medications at all. No medications at all.
So let's.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that, they're saying that trash tonnage went up 40% right after the mayor got rid of the purple bags. 40%, and now they're saying there's a 50% increase in trash in 1 month. Could that, I'll tell you how a lot of that happens. Watch the cars coming from Rhode Island, from Tiverton, from Somerset, that drive into Fall River and throw their trash out in our trash receptacles. That's where the problem happens. And because we have no way of locking our trash receptacles, that creates the issue.
You're right. And also, lack of planning. We knew how many people had city trash pickup before we went to this program. We also knew that the percentage of people, because you had to go down and fill out a form if you went to a private vendor. So that impact, it's called an impact study. When they were going to get rid of the purple bags, they should have looked and said, well, okay, when we went to the purple bags, these are the people that left. And you can obviously factor that in and understand the impact of the change. And that should have been a factor in weighing whether you were going to get rid of the bags. Again, government and our city council and our mayor and everybody else doesn't give a damn about increased cost. It's a headline in a paper, but we pay more taxes and fees for it. Because what did they do? Nothing. They don't do anything right. If you're in private industry and you're going to make a move, you look at not only what that move is going to bring you in profit, but how much it's going to cost you and how it impacts the rest of your operation. And it's not like they couldn't do this. It wasn't rocket science. They knew how many people opted for private
That's
pickup
right.
because you had to go down. I did it.
I did it too.
I went down there and filled out a form. Then I went back down there again and left my private pickup. So they should have known the impact. But I was actually using the bags. I went back to city pickup even when they still had the bags. So I was buying bags. But the reality is, this again is just a symptom of the absolute ineptness that we have for a government in this city. And we got an election coming up. And we've got some new people. And, you know, it's time to drain some of this swamp. And I don't really, there's going to be at least, we know, one vacancy. And we did read Steve Long's name for people who pulled papers, correct?
Yes, but he didn't file them.
All right, because, people are saying, well, he didn't file them, so.
And there's already rumors going around on why he didn't file them.
Well, we all know that, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Fall River is a rumor mill.
And we know we know that he's been looking for positions in the city for a while, as do they all. So we can't, we know what Leo did when Leo got bounced from the council. What was this?
He went to Veterans.
And you got to give him credit. He said, "Well, I'm just going to go find myself another city job."
That's right, and he did.
And he did. And he got a job at a veterans office, even though he's not a veteran. So, this is the way it happens. But guess what? Purple bag costs everything. They make a headline out of it. They'll talk about it, but they won't talk about the root cause. They'll never talk about the root cause. Their inability to do anything because they have a total disregard for costs and the taxpayer. Just like, it's not only look at Providence. It kills me in Providence. Their school system is a national disgrace. And there's a Lawser, the guy that spends 148 days a year traveling around the world and not being the mayor of his city, and said, don't worry about it. I just pick up the phone and tell my minions what to do. I don't have to be in Providence. Well, maybe you'd look over your school system. And that's the other thing. You look at the effect, but we never look at the cause. Now, that school system didn't become one of the most deplorable systems in the United States overnight. And all the time it took to transition from a school system that was functioning properly to this, there were people being paid to be principals, superintendents, vice principals,
Deans of students,
all these jobs. Maintenance, they showed again, like in Fall River, the maintenance, just like in Fall River. They showed pictures of Durfee. Oh, that's why we need a new Durfee. That's why we need a debt override. That's why we need more of your money. We'll bankrupt you. And nobody ever asked who was responsible for maintaining these buildings, even though it's in the ordinance. We had someone in charge of maintenance in the school department and on the city side. We had people being paid to check on our educational system, just as they did in Providence. But that is government. You've got high-paid people that don't do their job, and it's always government by crisis. They don't do their job, it ends up a total disaster, and the answer is whine, have a study group, identify the problem, hire more people, give them more money, tax you more, and then start the cycle all over again. And then in 10 years, Providence will be saying, oh my God, the system's a mess, the buildings are a mess in 20 years. So who's to blame? the voters. You keep electing people in here. You never demand that they have a maintenance, and I think years ago they did. Didn't they go before the council? I've got a fairly good memory. Didn't they go before the council quite a while ago and talk about having maintenance, regular maintenance checkups
Yes.
of the buildings?
Yes.
And I can go back all the way back to the Kerr Mill fire. And I remember that they had, after that fire, they wanted to implement a comprehensive mill inspection. I know that that's not being done today. Just like when they went in front of the council and they were going to do a building maintenance checkup. They were going to ensure that these people were doing their jobs and these buildings were going to be maintained.
There's a whole department just for building maintenance in DCM, and there is an $80,000, $90,000 a year man supposedly doing that job, Chris Gallagher.
Oh, you mean the guy that falsified the overtime records?
I guess so, yes.
Yeah, that's the guy. The guy who was told, don't worry about it. We know you actually committed payroll fraud, which should have got you terminated. But instead, you get to be a department head, and you get a pay raise, and just keep your head down. They'll forget about it in a month, and they'll move on again.
Not with Spindle City Straight Talk, you won't.
No, but we won't forget, and we won't forget, and we won't stop reminding the voting public. This is what your government does to you, and you pay for it. You're paying for it. And if you check city ordinances, the ordinances clearly state that the department, I think the ordinance, they probably never changed the actual, they called it DPW, but that department is by ordinance required to maintain all city property, all city buildings.
Yeah, guess what?
But they don't.
They put money in that budget. I don't know where it goes to.
And like I said, whether it's Providence or Fall River, where's the Lawser? Where's the Lawser saying, I want some heads from the school department for allowing this to get this way, because this didn't get to be one of the most deplorable systems in the nation overnight. This was a gradual erosion. These buildings didn't become a total disaster, maintenance disaster overnight. How long were those roofs leaking? How long did we need electrical work or any other kind of maintenance work in these buildings? And it went unaddressed. So, but that's government. It's like, okay, we got a problem that we caused, and we're going to forget about it. So what do? We hire a focus group or someone to investigate how, let's find out how we can fix it. Let's not figure out how it got broken.
That's right. Why wonder where the cause is?
It's amazing. And then we go into the next disaster, talking about things like that. Fall River City Council Leo Pell says East Main streetscape, quote, looks like hell, unquote. What? It looks like hell? And besides that, even when they get done with streetscapes, who the hell's going to go to East Main Street?
Well, and the funny thing is, Leo brought up some very interesting topics there. They paved the street, and what's the first thing they do after they pave a street in Fall River?
Dig it up.
Dig it up. Just dig it up.
Dig it up.
Like, nobody cares.
And they've been doing it forever.
Yeah, the sidewalks, the same thing.
Yep.
But these sidewalks didn't get what the sidewalks on Prospect Street got. Prospect Street got bump outs for outside dining and, nice foliage and, nice topiaries and nice everything. Brand new historic style lighting.
And what geographical location is Prospect Street in?
That's the Mayor's Friends places.
The north end.
No, but it's also the Mayor's Friends places.
But it's in the north end.
It's actually the downtown area.
Yeah, but if it's the Mayor's Friends, they get everything.
That's right, and that's what happened. One restaurant is going to be able to benefit from those bump outs. One. How much in campaign contributions did that person make?
Oh, wait a minute. You're segueing into another article.
Okay, you know me. I always got a reason.
That's right.
Okay. So, and how many property values went up because of these streetscapes for their friends? But on East Main Street, if you look at it, it looks like nothing was done.
Yeah, well.
It looks like nothing was done. And guess what? We paid more for both of them. And they were both over budget.
That's right, as usual.
As usual.
And the contractors who got the contracts were friendly to the mayor, and the people who got the bump outs and everything else are friendly to the mayor. But again, it's like we are the definition of insanity, especially Fall River City government. And
Well, I think Webster changed the definition and put a picture of Fall River in there.
Because didn't we again, and you know, sometimes having a good memory is a curse. Didn't we do this waltz many years ago about digging streets up after they've been paved?
Yep.
Didn't we even actually go to the point to say that, you know, we were going to contact the utility companies and the construction companies and say, if you got any work on this thing, unless it's an emergency, you better do it before we pave it, otherwise you're going to be liable? Didn't we go through this dance once before?
Did. Dance of the chickens.
Again, government forgot about it.
Dance of the chickens.
The dance of the chickens. It's like shoveling manure into an incoming tide. All you do is get it slapped around your ankles again. Now it's up to your knees in the form of more taxes and fees. And you wonder why this city continues to deteriorate.
Hey, I said in the Weekend Flush that maybe if the city council got some agates, got some gonads, okay, and created an ordinance that says if the road is dug up within the 5 years that has been laid, the entire road must be done by the utility company. I guarantee you the utility companies will stop.
Absolutely.
Because they keep calling everything an emergency. Well, somebody's internet is running too slow, so we're going to run a new line. That's not an emergency.
Well, you're right. And we did, and as we said, we did this dance before. We had the same conversation years ago.
That's right. We even created an ordinance saying that if the city's 5 years old or less,
Yeah.
that they have to get special permission from the city council. But the city council never says no.
That's right. Because
You have tenants who want to dig into them because they want to put in another water line, or they want to put in another sewer line, or they want to run something underground. And all of a sudden the city says, okay, no problem. No. It doesn't get done right. They redid my street not that long ago, and guess what? It looks like Fallujah.
Well, most streets do. It's almost like they do it on purpose, because sometimes you wonder. You know, it's like your street looks like crap for years, for decades. Then they finally pave it. Then within 6 months, you got all kinds of holes again because everybody's digging it up.
That's right.
You know, you got the electric light company there, then you look out your window a month later, there's the gas company, and, you know, then you got a construction company hooking up a sewer line or something like that, and it's just like, so you go, why? Why bother? It looks just like the way it did. But, hey, you know, again, it's the city of Fall River, our city council, not doing their job, not caring, because they don't care. They just keep raising your taxes. They just keep raising your fees, and you just keep paying. Whether it's purple bags, we eliminate them to get elected, but then we say, oh, Christ, we're really short. But guess what? You should have done an impact study. You knew how many people were going to come back to the city when you eliminated bags. And as you said earlier, CJ, we got people from all the surrounding towns coming in here. Now, once you get rid of an identifiable bag,
That's right.
everybody from the surrounding area, all of whom have bags.
That's right. Every community around us has bags and house fees.
That's right. So what are they going to do with their trash? What are they going to do with their trash? Drive around BCC. I see people, I come up here at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, to walk my dog, as you well know. And I can't even count the number of times I've seen people pull into the parking lots, get out of their car with bags, and stuff them in the various trash receptacles at BCC. And I don't mean, you know, a lunch bag or a small bag. I'm talking about a pretty good-sized bag.
A 30-gallon container.
You know, stuffing a bag in there, or a 13-gallon,
Yeah.
you know, kitchen bag. They're stuffing them in there, or they're taking out car mats and stuffing them in the trash. Of course, we get rid of our bags. So we create a deficit, and we also create this, of course. You know, it's just mind-boggling that the people of this city
Do
continue
you
to...
remember how much money they spent on trying to enforce bag usage? Sending somebody around to every barrel, having them open the barrels, check through the trash, and go. Why can't they spend even half of that money on putting somebody out on trash day to scan for people throwing trash that are not from the city?
Talk about a waste. And with all those people looking, how many fines did we collect?
None. Not really. Not really that many.
And the only reason we had those people is because they were funded.
That's right.
So, I mean, again, but let's get back to our normal craziness. Sean Kadim accuses Fall River Mayor of accepting kickbacks on the marijuana business. I guess that's the buzz. It's been a buzz ever since that was out there, and
Actually, you know, that became a rumor. Because everything in Fall River is a rumor.
It's been around for a while now.
It was around after the first letter of non-opposition was issued, and then $25,000 appeared in the mayor's legal services account.
Yes.
Okay, and amazingly enough, who did it come from? One of the marijuana-based company owners.
You're right, and I guess Kadim made the accusation at a council meeting, and I guess...
I like this quote here. I think it's something we all know, but completely ignore. Is the money being given to the administration by these marijuana companies for these licenses, and the kickback monies that he's receiving in order to issue the licenses? Well, I know of a company that didn't get a license because they weren't going to give any money to the mayor.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Alleged. And that's the key. And I'm not sure if it was really, I mean, everybody can say that. As you said, you know, people didn't get a license or didn't give money. All the signs are there. And the old adage, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
But
you would know that.
Exactly. And there was actually a fire on the way down on Eastern Avenue. They were coming down. I could see the black smoke. It looked like a hydrocarbon, but a car fire or something like that. But the reality is that you're right. There's a whole bunch of smoke here. Everybody sees these donations appearing, and then licenses are given and non-opposition letters are generated. And all these things happen, which gives a tremendous amount of circumstantial evidence. But you have to have enough proof to make it stick in a court of law. It's an accusation. I really don't believe that accusation should have been levied in a city council meeting. Everybody has a right to their opinion. A lot of people believe that there were this payola kickbacks in for every, you know, they got Cianci for it. They get it, you know, it's part of the political landscape. But I'm not really sure if it was appropriate to come out and because it still is allegation and rumor. I'm really not sure, at least in my opinion, I don't believe the city council is the place to air that. If he wants to have a public opinion of that and state that in a different forum, I don't have a problem with it. But I do not believe the city council meeting, at a formal meeting of a government body, to, you know, throw accusations at someone that you can't prove. If he gets indicted for it at some point in time, well, then you can say, well, I told you so. But I believe he probably said, I want to bring this forward so you can do something and we can do something. But you can't, because they are allegations, and you can't preemptively pass something with the assumption that at some point in time he'll be charged with accepting kickbacks and be proven guilty of accepting kickbacks. You know, that's just my personal opinion, and obviously other people may disagree with it, but I think that just as the mayor should not hurl accusations back at him, and I know that the mayor's going to contact his legal, and I don't know how much more money. I guess he's got to stop playing blackjack because he keeps getting more and more things that his lawyer's got to be paid for. Now he's going to check into this, but I'm not sure if this is actionable because realistically, politicians, you can't libel or slander them anyway.
The funny part about it is this. If they have a superseding indictment against him for these kickbacks, alleged kickbacks, then he can use his legal defense fund to defend himself because it was his actions as a mayor.
That's right. He'll probably be happy for that because now he's got money. So he can use money, although he doesn't have much money left.
Well, he's got plenty of money left in his legal defense
Legal
account.
defense fund, yeah, but it's not accessible. And as you said, but when it's accessible, it's only accessible for those charges. It's not accessible for the pending charges. So, but then again, as I said, then they talked about the caps on the marijuana and of course, our boy Steve Camara thinks it's wonderful. And I see putting Fall River in a good light. Yeah, being the marijuana capital of the world is putting you. That's why Newton's building all kinds of marijuana facilities because that puts you in a good light. Being the crime capital of the state, being the overdose upon release from hospital capital of the world, and then building the most marijuana facilities in the state.
Right.
I have to disagree with Steve, which is not something that's new with me. I disagree with virtually every position he takes. But hey, you know, he thinks it's going to put us in a good light. I know one thing, there's a lot of lines. You know, nobody's got any money in this city, but the marijuana places are doing...
As a matter of fact, they're causing traffic jams.
Yeah, but remember, they said it was the casino, which is crap.
No, that's crap.
Because I was on my way to the casino the other day to place a sports bet, and the line was like endless going into the marijuana facility. Because I was taking a look. So, and the parking they're talking about is on the side streets around that area.
That's right.
You know, and you don't park there to go to the casino because it's a hell of a long walk from that area to the casino. And the casino does have parking. They've got a parking garage and they've got a parking facility. So I've never seen any. And if you've ever been to the casino, it's set back, you know, a pretty good way from the street. So you can't like park 2.5 miles away and walk to the casino. That's crazy. Nobody's doing that. It's not that big a casino, and it's causing problems, and you know.
Is it worth the fees that we're getting?
Well,
Plus,
it's all about money, CJ. And
right.
You know that. It's all about money.
The big issue is this: you are not going to generate any more marijuana revenue. That's the revenue. That amount that are going to that one store, that's the amount of revenue Fall River has. You open up another store, some of those people are going to go to the other store, and they're going to start diluting the revenue stream to other facilities, but not diluting it for the city. We're not going to get more because there's more. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, but you see, there you go again. You're being logical.
I know.
Let's get down to the bottom line. Why does the city want more? Licensing fees. But because ultimately, as we talked about on a previous show, these places will then begin to shut down because it's not like if we get 10 times the amount of marijuana places, we're going to get 10 times the amount of customers.
Right.
They're just going to split them, which means they'll make a lower profit margin. So.
And that's not new.
Hey, nice being back. Nice to see CJ here again in front of the camera rather than...
Well, I'm in front of a camera and behind a desk.
Next, maybe if you guys are all really good and make a lot of personal requests, maybe he'll show you his foot on the next show.
Have a great day, everyone. We'll
Stay angry. Stay angry.